Where should I look?
Take the camera over there.
Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. We're so excited to have you and also to be celebrating iFixit's 20 years of being in service and bringing repair to communities. What does the right to repair mean to your organization?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So the right to repair is the idea that you should be able to fix everything you own. And that means you should be able to fix it yourself if you want to. Or if you don't, you should be able to take it to a repair shop of your choice. And that means maybe an independent shop, maybe a manufacturer's shop. And that means that repairs are more accessible and affordable for everybody.
That's great. And before we ask you another question, I'd like to give you the chance to introduce yourself. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. I'm Liz Chamberlain. I'm iFixit's Director of Sustainability.
Wonderful. And what does your role entail at iFixit?
So for the most part, I'm advocating for right to repair laws. I do some amount of internal sustainability work also, but for us as a company, sustainability means repair because we're really focused on extending product lifetimes and making sure that things last as long as they possibly can because the vast majority of electronic products' environmental impact happens in the manufacturing stage. So keeping things around for longer is better for the planet.
And speaking of right to repair, I saw you wrote a recent article about a pretty big victory, and I believe it was Minnesota.
That's right.
Can you speak a little bit on what that means for repair and the advancement of repair and circularity?
Yeah, absolutely. So iFixit has been fighting for right to repair legislation for about 10 years. We've been fighting for repairable stuff for all of our 20 years of being around.
Yes.
But we just had the biggest yet right to repair victory in the United States in Minnesota. We passed a very broad right to repair bill that will cover basically everything with a chip, with a small number of exceptions. So that means, consumer electronics, phones and tablets and laptops and smartwatches and all of the above, but also, appliances, small appliances. And it will require basically parity between independent repair shops and manufacturer-authorized repair shops. So everything that's available to manufacturers' shops should be available to independent shops and to people who want to fix things themselves.
Wow. And maybe just kind of thinking about your 20-year mark so far, can you tell us a little bit about how maybe manufacturers have changed their approach to the repair movement?
Absolutely, yeah. So for the first, 10, 15 years we were around, we were calling for more repairable stuff and really kind of heard crickets. We didn't hear a whole lot from manufacturers. But things have really changed in the last few years. And we've started to have manufacturers approach us and ask, what can we be doing here? How can we make things more fixable? How can we make it so that people can fix things themselves? And so we've actually started some collaborations directly with some big manufacturers. So we now are the official repair parts and tools provider for Google and for Samsung and for a couple of other big companies also. And so we're really interested in strategizing with companies, talking with them about how they can do this thing.
Does that mean you're also kind of working with their design teams?
Absolutely, yeah. So for some companies, we're working on parts and tools, but we also provide repairability assessments. So we will look at products at the design stage, and our teardown engineers, who have many of them 20 years of experience taking things apart and trying to categorize what makes them more and less repairable. And 20 years of listening to our user base, people who are fixing things themselves, talking about what makes things more and less repairable. They will give feedback on designs at the very beginning stage.
That's wonderful. And when speaking on repair and reuse in the circularity space, what do you view as one of the biggest opportunities?
Ooh. I mean, I think that manufacturers really have a huge opportunity because they're putting stuff out into the world. And if they can think about repair from the very beginning of the design stage, think about making sure that things can be fixable at the end of their life, it really could make a huge difference in the enormous tide of e-waste that we're all faced with.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wow.
That is a very good point there. And we have about, 30 seconds before we have to cut. What is something that you would want our viewers to know when it comes to repair and circularity in general?
I mean, I think for manufacturers, we're interested in talking to folks who do want to increase their options for repair and bring repair to their customers directly. And for everyone else, I want to say it is possible to fix it yourself. A lot of people are scared too, but once you get in there, you can do it. I've done it.
Yeah, we don't always need to replace.
Exactly.
We can repair.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Liz or Elizabeth. We really appreciate you being here today, and we hope that your circularity experience is wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great talking
Let's
with
repair.
you. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it so much.